Hello my dear friends, welcome to 4000 Essential English Words by Paul Nation, Book 4, Unit 16. Acid, acid, acid. Noun. An acid is a chemical that can burn or dissolve other substances. In chemistry class, we mix two acids together and watch the reaction. Here be careful that letter C sounds like S. That's why we say acid, acid. Administration, administration, administration. Noun. An administration is the group of people who manage a company or organization. She hoped she could be promoted to a job in administration. Here be careful that tion at the end of this word sounds like shin. That's why we say administration, administration. Administrative, administrative, administrative. Adjective. Administrative describes anything related to managing a company or organization. I work as an administrative assistant to the owner of the company. Biotechnology, biotechnology, biotechnology. Noun. Biotechnology is the use of living parts such as cells in industry and technology. Researchers at the biotechnology company use bacteria to make machine. Here be careful that CH doesn't sound like ch, it sounds like k. That's why we say biotechnology. Cholesterol, cholesterol, cholesterol. Noun. Cholesterol is a substance in fat, tissues, and blood of all animals. When people have too much cholesterol, they are at a high risk for heart problems. Here be careful that CH doesn't sound like ch, it sounds like k. And also be careful that we don't say cholesterol. We say cholesterol, cholesterol. Coalition, coalition, coalition. Noun. A coalition is a group of people or organizations working for a common purpose. The companies formed a coalition to make trade less expensive. Here be careful that tion at the end of this word sounds like shin. That's why we say coalition, coalition. Deceptive, deceptive, deceptive. Adjective. When something is deceptive, it encourages one to believe something that is false. The scary-looking man's appearance is deceptive. He is actually very nice. Here be careful that letter C sounds like S, not K. That's why we say deceptive, deceptive. Diabetes, diabetes, diabetes. Noun. Diabetes is a medical condition in which a person's body cannot control the level of sugar in their blood. Overweight people are more likely to suffer from diabetes than slimmer ones. Keep in mind that in US pronunciation, letter T here is pronounced like D. And also, we don't say diabetes. We say diabetes, diabetes. Eliminate, eliminate, eliminate. Verb. To eliminate something that is unwanted means to completely remove it. Wearing a seatbelt eliminates some of the dangers of driving a car. Here be careful that we don't say eliminate. We say eliminate. Eliminate. Erosion. 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 Noun. Erosion is the destruction of rock or soil due to the flowing water or weather. Canyons are formed because rivers of fast-moving water caused erosion. Here be careful that S-I-O-N at the end of this word sounds like jen. That's why we say erosion. Erosion. Ethics. 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 Noun. Ethics are moral beliefs or rules about right or wrong. The act of stealing certainly doesn't go against some people's ethics. Here be careful that TH sounds like th. That's why we say ethics. Ethics. Explicit. 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 Adjective. If something is explicit, it is very clear, open, and truthful. The man gave a very explicit account of the car accident. Framework. 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 Noun. A framework is a set of rules or ideas that people use to solve problems. His ideas fit into the framework of a successful business plan. When pronouncing letter W, be careful that we don't say V. We say W. Your lips shouldn't touch each other. That's why we say framework. Manufacture. 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 Verb. To manufacture something means to make it in a factory. My father's company manufactures steel building materials. You have to keep in mind that T-U-R-E at the end of this word sounds like chur. That's why we say manufacture. Manufacture. Mechanism. 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 Noun. A mechanism is a part of a machine that performs a certain function. I can't open my car door because the locking mechanism is broke. Here be careful that CH doesn't sound like ch, it sounds like k. That's why we say mechanism. And also be careful that we don't say mechanism. We say mechanism. Mechanism. Minimize. 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 Verb. To minimize means to reduce something to the lowest possible level. I check my homework twice to minimize errors I might have made. Nectar. 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 Noun. Nectar is a sweet liquid produced by flowers and that bees and other insects collect. Bees use nectar to make their honey. Here be careful that we don't say nectar. We say nectar. 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 Notion. 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 Noun. A notion is an idea or belief about something. I had a notion that this route would get us to the beach. Keep in mind that T-I-O-N at the end of this word sounds like shin. That's why we say notion. Notion. regime, regime, regime. Noun. A regime is a system of government or management. He was a member of the old regime that had been overthrown in the election. Here for this word, letter G doesn't sound like J. It sounds like J. And also keep in mind that we don't say regime. We say regime, regime, regime. Straightforward, straightforward, straightforward. Adjective. When something is straightforward, it is good because it is easy to understand. The teacher's grading system was straightforward and fair. Here again, be careful that when you pronounce letter W, your lips shouldn't touch each other. For example, here we say straightforward for word, not forward. It's straightforward, straightforward. Well done, my friends, you have learned 20 new words. If you want to learn more, watch the next video.